Okay, episode 79. We're joined today by Ahmad Mushatq. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining the Saudi Fitness Talk Show. And very excited to find out what you do and get into the business realm of here in Saudi Arabia and find out more. I mean, with your Instagram, the BizTech, Ahmed BizTech is your handle, yeah? So
Correct,
looking forward to finding out more about that and also sharing that, everything in your realm and in what you do with all our listeners and dig deeper into that and maybe a bit about fitness as well. We'll see.
Sure thing. Thank you so much for having me.
No, pleasure.
Thanks for coming.
And thanks for coming by. So, because you don't live in Riyadh, do you? You live...
I keep coming here, as I told you, like twice a week.
Yep.
But I'm based out of Jeddah. My residence is in Jeddah. Our offices are in Jeddah.
Yep.
But yeah, our clients are spread all across the kingdom.
Okay.
So yeah.
And how long have you been here in
I
Saudi?
was born here, so it's been like
Okay, so quite a while.
30 yeah.
Longer than us.
I'm just gonna point.
Okay, sorry.
I'm going to give you a fist bump as well.
Oh, okay, please, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull that up. There you go.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, carry on.
Yep.
And yeah, so been here for more than 3 decades now.
Yeah.
And I help foreigners, non-Saudis, who want to establish their businesses here. So we help them out, me and my team.
Cool. And so maybe a bit about, rolling back a bit in terms of your background and how you kind of got into this side of things, So, after school, you go to university, this type of things.
Yeah. So I did my early schooling in Jeddah.
Okay.
And then due to some financial reasons, my father lost his business. So we had to go back to Pakistan. And I did my bachelor's from Pakistan. It was in information technology.
Okay.
And that's my first love, IT.
Yeah.
And then after that, I worked in Pakistan maybe for a year and realized that's not where I want to work.
Where you wanted to be.
Yeah. And I kind of missed Saudi. That's the thing for most of us. We're born here. We're quite attached to this place. So yeah, we came back. Me and my family, my mother and my siblings. So then, in 2012, I started my career, was in quite a few jobs, mostly technical, worked as a programmer, webmaster. And then I started my side business. I registered it in Pakistan. It was an IT business. At that time, I didn't know that you could also establish your business in Saudi. And like most of us who have this misunderstanding that we might need like millions of riyals in order to, get the license. But after a few years, I had my friend Aaron Johnson, who met me through Google Startup Grind. I was co-director and he was the director.
Yep.
So he joined a college called MBSC, Prince Mohammed bin Salman College. And he recommended me to join the college since it was new and they were offering scholarships. And he mentioned the benefits, like you would be part of this network. And me coming from a technical background, I never thought that, an MBA would benefit me, but it did a lot for me. And that's where I came to know about the entrepreneurship license, and that's what we can talk in detail.
Yeah, because there's this kind of questions nowadays, especially with even the education side of things, and is an MBA worth it nowadays? Is it better to have a mentor and apprenticeship side of things, or go down the MBA route? What are your kind of views on that, those different routes?
So my experience is that the MBA program would benefit you in terms of network. The network with the students, the current students in your cohort, the previous ones, and the future.
All the alumni, as they call it, and everything else.
Exactly, the alumni club. And I had options to pursue MBA from Liverpool online, meanwhile working here in Saudi. And then we have a couple of other options from the US as well. But I think one of my friends, he gave me a good advice that you should pursue MBA where you would like to establish your business, because that's where your network would be.
Yeah.
So till now, the network from this college helps me in one way or another in terms of business, in terms of connections. So, yeah.
And people say often it's who you know, not what you know.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's for you as well. You experience that sort of thing as well, especially here in Saudi.
Yeah, in Saudi, especially in the Middle East, you're here for quite
6-7 years.
7 years. So the connections are very important, very crucial.
Yeah,
They help you a lot to and you could get things done very quickly if you have the right connections.
Yeah.
And people usually in business as well, they would love to work with you if they trust you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of a trust-based society.
And do you see a difference or experience a difference, say, between Jeddah and Riyadh with that sort of thing?
So, Riyadh is pretty dry in terms of weather, of course. So
Yeah.
so it's the moment I land here.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I use my Vaseline on my lips and on my
Yeah,
nose, and because my body is more adapted towards Jeddah, which is more humid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What I mean though is more with the people.
okay, I went too literal.
Because
Sorry.
the weather's great and people say, and yeah, there is a big difference between Jeddah and Riyadh. But in terms of dealing with people in between the different cultures of Jeddah, because there is a big difference.
It is. So I feel. I think that's quite changing at the moment. But historically speaking, the Jeddah region or the Hijaz region in general, they were more used to foreigners because of Mecca, Medina. A lot of people come there for religious reasons. So the people in Jeddah, we also call them Jeddawis. They're more, or that was the case in the past. They were more used to the foreigners.
Yeah.
And but that's changing a lot because Riyadh right now is a financial hub. A lot of people from all around the world, they're coming here. So
it's flipped quickly.
Yeah, exactly. In the last few years,
3-4 years, isn't it? I remember when I first came, everyone was like, "Oh, telling me when I was in Jeddah, telling me about all these stories of the people of Riyadh and they're very conservative, very strict." And I was like almost scared, to go and see it. And then when I came over in 22, it was quite the opposite.
Yeah, like it's very opposite now. Like we people from Jeddah, we now feel guilty. Like Riyadh is way ahead of us. So in terms of openness now,
that's it. When I went to Jeddah, it was the open play 2019, 2020, and then within, I think it was about 21, 22, it just went. Whoosh, it just flew, didn't it? I think that first Middle Beast, whenever.
Oh yeah.
And it just kind of turned on its head, and now it's just Riyadh is going crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I think kudos goes to the people from Najd, the Riyadh area. I think it was a overall collective conscious decision from their end to open Riyadh to the world. And yeah, I never ever thought that I would be sitting with a British, right?
Yeah, British. Yeah.
In Saudi, right?
Doing a podcast.
Exactly. So, but yeah, things have changed a lot. Yeah.
And alongside that, with kind of the societal things, what are the kind of the big changes? Because some of our listeners, we have people from outside looking in, and they're like, "What's going on in Saudi?" I mean, you were born and raised here, so you were just kind of alluded then, like, I never would have thought I'd be sitting here with two British guys doing a podcast. Is there other things as well? You just thought, I never thought that would happen.
So you should be very specific because I, being a technical guy, could become very literal. Have you seen? I think there's a show where this doctor was very literal. There are memes of him.
Yeah,
like he would come and announce something. I cannot recall the name of the show. I don't know if you have seen it. It's an American show where he would just come and say what happened with the patient, and he would say it appears he's dead. And then everybody is mourning, and then he would say, then they will ask him like what happened, and he said, there's white paint all over him, so it appears he's dead. He's fine. So you have
it's
to
our British way, maybe.
So I'll talk from a business perspective, from my background.
Yep.
So the government has done a great job in terms of spreading the information out there, helping out expatriates and foreigners in order to open their businesses. You would see that a lot of portals out there now are bilingual. It was not the case before. Everything used to be in Arabic, but now most of the government portals, I would say like all of them are bilingual.
So I think there's one I went on the other day that wasn't. But
most of them, the crucial ones are
all of them. Apart from there's one or two still, but they're coming. They'll be soon, I imagine.
So are bilingual, and then at the same time, you would notice that if you, like I living here, when we used to call any government ministry, the call center, people
didn't pick up.
They would. I never had that experience. You have to wait, but if they pick up, they would mainly
Arabic.
speak in Arabic.
Yeah.
But now things have changed a lot. Like most of the important ministries, they have staff that could speak not just in English but also in Urdu. Like Ministry of Investment, if you call them, the ministry which is responsible for issuing approvals for us to do business here in
Yep.
Saudi, they have staff who could speak Chinese and Urdu as well. So
Wow.
yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's great. So that was I never imagined that in the past.
And what kind of people are you mostly working with in your business? Like, who are you helping out? Where are they from? You know, what kind of businesses are they starting?
So I do have clients from Canada, from the US,
Yeah.
from UK, but mainly like the majority of them, they are from Pakistan and India. And the reason could be that the content right now I'm generating or creating is mainly in Urdu
Yeah.
language. But and also because most of the people from these countries, they want to live and work here not only because of the financial reasons, but the religious reasons as well, because of two holy places. So yeah, but we do have clients who are purely like Americans and Brits, not coming from Indo-Pak
Yeah.
background, but they're very minority. Majority of them are from India and Pakistan.
And what kind of businesses are they bringing here or starting here?
Various kinds of businesses. Like just today, like before this show, I had a meeting with a client. He just closed the deal. He's a Bangladeshi national, and he wants to open a restaurant. So we have clients who want to open gyms, fitness centers. We have clients who want to open consultancies, financial consultancies, an IT company, marketing company, automobiles, spare parts shop, or automobile repair shops, like various kinds of businesses.
Okay.
So yeah.
There must be a big demand for Bangladeshi food, actually. 'Cause there's a lot of Bangladeshis here and Pakistanis. So a restaurant's a good idea.
Oh yeah, restaurant is
Yeah.
a good idea. And actually, Riyadh has one of the best Indo-Pak or Bangladeshi restaurants, better than Jeddah. It used to be
Yeah.
Jeddah, but now it's Riyadh.
Yeah. There's one right near Al Hammam,
Yeah.
a good one. It's
Yeah.
24 hour.
When are
Yeah.
you taking me there?
After this? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's on record now.
It's
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's on record.
Cool,
Yeah.
I think you know, obviously now the last, especially 5 years, 6 years, there is starting to be a bigger increase of Canadian, Western expats starting to come in from Europe, from North America, starting to come into into Saudi more. But obviously, especially the last 10, 15 years, Dubai has been the kind of the place to go to, Abu Dhabi and a bit, Qatar and Doha and a bit like that. And that's where you hear everyone go, especially from us as Brits. We hear a lot of people going to Dubai, going to go set up their businesses there now, especially with the economic things going on in the UK. So but no one really knows anything about Saudi. I think a lot of people, even the dogma is, we can't even set up a business in Saudi.
It's kind of famous for being easy in Dubai.
Easy
to
in
set up a
Dubai and then
business.
almost expensive or impossible in Saudi.
Yeah. That's why he has a business.
So maybe from that side, for people,
Yeah.
because I know there's a lot of people who want to set up businesses in Saudi. What are the different options for people, who are looking in or looking towards, setting up their own thing here?
Yeah, it's very sad when I see that many people, they don't know much about Saudi, and even
At all, yeah.
exactly. And even though Saudi had 100%, that it allowed 100% ownerships of businesses by expats way before, like I remember, I think 15 years ago, I heard that
Really?
you could do that, and UAE just allowed this in the mainland. It used to allow in the free zones 100% foreign ownerships, but in the mainland they just announced it like a few years ago. Like you needed 51 an Emirati partner with 51% if you wanted to open something in the mainland.
Right.
Saudi allowed it like more than 10 years ago. People don't know about this.
No,
Yeah.
it's not publicized already, or we just don't know,
Yeah, I believe Saudi just needed to work more on its PR.
Marketing, yeah.
Exactly, marketing.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing now with the ministry going towards different exhibitions overseas and promoting business in Saudi opportunities. So and that was needed way before. So there were possibilities, there were options available, but people never knew about them. And also the overall image of Saudi, you know.
Yeah, and that's changing. I think obviously through all the entertainment sector, especially then the
Yes.
tourism sectors, help really highlighting that and putting Saudi on the map, especially with all the football and sports and
Exactly.
all these things is to draw people into the country, which is great.
Exactly.
But I think as well is that they also want retention of people as well. They want people to come, but then also stay or come back multiple times, not just to come once and then never come back, almost like a bucket list, Oh, let's go to Saudi. It's put on, it's a bucket list. It was more difficult to come and see Saudi, but now it seems, the tourist visa, everything else.
And the premium residencies.
Premium residency, yeah. And so let's talk about some of these options then. So premium residency, that's a new buzzword that's going round at the moment. Maybe you could tell people a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting because let's talk about the retention part.
Yeah.
Like everybody has this that, okay, let's work here in Saudi, make as much money as you can.
Yeah, and then
Tax-free
go.
money. Yeah, tax-free money, and then just leave it, and not to build your future here. People used to come here, they never, or let's say there were a very small portion of the people who used to buy real estate here, and they had justifiable reasons like, why should I invest here when everything is tied to my job?
Yeah.
Or everything is tied to my business, and the laws could change, and then I have to sell everything, right? That's a hassle. But the premium residency solves this. I say that it's equivalent to Saudi citizenship minus the passport.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay any dependent fee. You don't have to issue any exit reentries. You could leave and come back to the country whenever you want.
Yep. So you have to go through ABSHA and all this stuff, or
Exactly.
ask your employer, or
no need
all
for
this
that.
stuff, yeah.
No need for that. Your family gets a premium residency too. They could work in the private sector freely. You're not considered as a foreigner if you work in any company.
multiple incomes as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You could have multiple incomes. You could buy real estate. Previously, you could only buy 2 real estate properties, and then even for those, you needed approval from Ministry of Housing. Now you don't need that, and your parents also get the premium residencies. So it's like so you could bring your whole family here, and
Wow.
yeah.
And how do you qualify for that?
So there are multiple options. Not the ministry, sorry, the Premium Residency Center. They announced initially 2 programs that were targeted towards wealthy individuals, but that was like more than 2 years ago. But then last year, in 2024, they announced 5 new programs, and 2 of them are for business owners, one especially for entrepreneurs, and other for traditional business owners, and then 3. Other 3, one of them is for job holders with certain income, and if they're working in those specialized fields, they qualify. And they, of course, their employers needs to be listed in that list as well. Another one is for exceptional talent, and I believe the last one is for someone who classifies as a celebrity or someone like Ronaldo or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Influencers and all that
Influencers,
category.
Yeah.
And special talent, is that for sports? Was that more?
No, special talent is under for those who are employed.
Okay.
Yeah, special talent is for those, and another one is for the celebrities. I cannot recall the name exactly,
Yeah.
and the third one is honestly I cannot recall the name. I'm getting older, so
That's fine. No, but that's a huge opportunity for people, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
And you kind of see then, from a kind of bigger picture view, the country is looking for people to stay.
Exactly.
They're putting the incentives out there. They're giving the opportunities to people. Yeah.
Exactly. They know that there are so many folks like me and you who want to come here, build their future here. So if I talk personally, it's like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Like I was born here, always wanted to live here, and when 3 months ago I got my premium residency, it was like a pivotal moment. And even though I was earning everything which I earned, I always thought that, okay, I have to invest it in Dubai, maybe
Somewhere
in
else.
Pakistan, or maybe in the US as well. I was not investing it in Saudi. Okay, so the moment I received my premium residency, Like I bought my first house
Nice.
in
yeah.
Saudi,
Yeah.
in Jeddah. So, like, I'm just an ordinary individual. Like, imagine so many ordinary individuals like me who are running small businesses. They would be investing their money because now they see their future.
Yeah. The money
in
can
Saudi, yeah.
stay in Saudi rather than
Exactly.
being sent back
Exactly.
home.
So
yeah.
it's a win-win for
Yeah.
Saudi and for us.
Yeah.
And I think that because, look, even the last couple of years, what was the stat? It's for the UK is 10,000 millionaires left last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
In 2024. And
Wow.
most of them going to either US, Dubai, or Middle East, I should say, but a lot of them to Dubai, US. And so you can see the kind of the feeling of people is that they don't want to do business in the UK anymore. They're moving their money elsewhere, and they want to go somewhere else where they feel like they can, they're not going to be taxed like crazy and everything else. But Saudi, from I think, like you said, the publicity thing, no one ever talks about, oh, let's come to Saudi. I think it's very hard to know what goes on in Saudi unless you're on the ground in Saudi. Still to this day, I know, but people ask me, we recruit a lot of people over the last few years, and they said, how do I find, I've looked on Google, it's hard to look on Google, and I said the best place to go on like either Instagram or go on YouTube. There's a lot of travel vloggers coming here now, and just have a look of it, what it looks like, and the day-to-day and all this. It's very difficult to find information still, and all the portals getting better, but but Dubai is the place. So what's the kind of comparison between like Dubai, like say if someone's looking to set up their business, Dubai and then Saudi, pros, cons,
So
who's it best for, who fits more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's quite a big question, I know. And,
You were in Dubai before, right?
No,
Or
no.
not?
Todd
I was
was there
for
for
1
about
year.
a year.
1 year.
Yeah, I just worked there for 1 year.
I think Todd qualifies for this question because I would be very biased. I only went there for exhibitions and events and never lived in Dubai.
Yeah,
So, but I'll tell you what I heard.
yeah. From what you hear, yeah.
So, I think the top most industries in Dubai are like real estate and tourism. They're the topmost.
Yeah,
Like my first business, an IT business where we develop websites and mobile apps. That's my first business. It's still running.
yeah.
And here in Saudi, the buying power is huge. A website that we could sell here for maybe 30 grand, 50 grand, like a website. In Emirates, like nobody is going to pay 3 grand for the same website.
No.
Maybe a government project would. But the same government project in Saudi, you can expect more than 100 grand or maybe 200 grand. For
Is that
the
from
same
a
website.
supply point of view, or just purely like why is the big difference?
Now this is my personal opinion. I think it's because there are a lot of suppliers in Dubai. So it's from a supply
it
point.
just
Yeah,
knocks
exactly.
the prices down and down and down.
Yeah, the demand is
Competitive.
less and the supply is more. And I believe like most of the people that go there work there, but they're providing services to other countries.
Yeah,
They
just
live-
use it as a base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I have seen a lot of vendors who live there, but they keep traveling to Riyadh like every week.
Yeah,
But they decide to live there. But now things with the premium residencies, things are changing.
and the incentives with the head
Yeah.
offices as well. Being
Exactly.
in Riyadh
Yes.
on tax breaks for what was it, 30 years or something like this? If you have your headquarters
And
here,
that's
regional headquarters,
a regional headquarter license. Yes, but that's for bigger companies,
big corporate,
big
yeah,
corps. Like if you have, you need to commit that you will be hiring. I believe that was like 20 executives, or you need to bring those 20 executives in Saudi. It was 20 or 10. They have reduced it to 10 now. And
So what was that 20 to 10? What?
so don't quote me for that, but you
Yeah.
have to cross check that. I think if you bring your 10 to 20 executives here in Saudi,
executives. Okay.
executives, and then you qualify for the regional headquarter license, and you get tax breaks, no tax, and but that's for bigger corporates. For smaller ones, we do have to pay tax 20% on the profits, which is still great because no tax on your personal income.
Yeah.
It's only on the LLC or your company. So, yeah.
And so you were saying, like, for tech, Saudi's a great place to be. What other sectors, compared to, say, UAE, you said, for real estate and tourism, what other sectors do you think is maybe there's a benefit, been a benefit with it? Probably finance, maybe the financial sector.
Could be finance. What I've noticed from my clients,
Yeah.
education.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
food sector, food industry, fitness. Like a lot of the Saudi people, a lot of the population, they're interested into fitness.
Yep.
So you know better about it. And since
It's probably I mean, we've talked to a few CEOs on the show and in the fitness area, and it's the biggest market potential in the world at the moment for fitness and wellness and that side of things. You look at the number of people who are actually engaged in some sort of fitness or in memberships. Compare that to the rest of the world. You know, of a similar GDP and everything else. It's the biggest market by far. And like you said, spending potential.
exactly, yeah.
You know.
A lot of startups in fintech. Like I have many clients who are into fintech, and you will find a lot of investors, Saudi investors, angel and VCs, who are interested into fintech. Like Tabi and Tamara is one. They're fintech.
Yeah.
So they just started a few years ago and see how much
They must be huge now, aren't they?
Yeah, one of them have become unicorns. Yeah, I think it's Tamara. Yeah.
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 Was it Tamara or Tabi?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But I saw it come up on my Instagram. Yeah, huge.
Yeah, so these are fintechs. And then there's another one, like one of our clients, I cannot disclose the name. We have an NDA, but they are into real estate combined with fintech. So it's like you could buy tokenized versions of real estate. It's not a new idea, but it's
That's a big thing here, isn't it? I think it's in the region, but I know in Saudi where when I first came over from the UK, and they're like, right, you need to pay for like rent a year up front, and you're like, what?
For what exactly?
Like rent, for
Okay.
instance.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's not monthly.
Like in the UK, everything's monthly. You know, you can pay month by month. And when I got here, it was like, right, pretty much a year, and then like,
Maybe
okay,
6
we'll do
months.
6 months, but it was very much didn't want to do it in a lot of different real estate areas. But then I think now 6 months is more common. People starting to do 3 months, and I hear of something. Maybe it's your client. They're doing trying to do monthly and make it more accessible, so people don't have to fork out 6 months or a year of rent. Maybe not, especially now with the transient nature of that Saudi is starting to pick up with people coming in for a bit, they go out for a bit. You know what I mean? So is that something you're seeing that? Well, I'm sure you've already experienced. You lived here, but seeing that. Move towards making things more flexible.
Yeah, and I think in terms of this example that you gave, credit goes to the government ministry, Ijar.
Yes.
You have used Ijar, right?
Yes, yeah.
So it's being used by both residential properties and commercial properties.
Yeah.
So I think the credit goes to that platform, and because everything is now digitally, it's digital and at the same time legal.
Yeah.
So if there's a contract made on the platform, then it's legally binding. So a landlord, think it from a landlord's perspective, that he's safe.
Yeah.
He knows that, okay, this person who made a contract with me for a year, and I don't mind he paying me monthly because there is a contract.
Yeah, that's what from UK I was like, look, we're signing a contract for a year. Why can't I just pay monthly? But do you know why, or why that is? Why payments are often a year or 6 months or all this type of thing from before?
You mean in
why
Saudi?
it was the way it was?
I'm assuming it's because of this platform. We never had this platform.
Yeah.
So now we have it.
Yeah.
So the landlords don't mind taking money on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Because they know that, okay, this person will be legally responsible.
They're bound to it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think so. Do you think there's any other reason?
No.
I was just trying to think. Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, it was the same in Dubai.
Was it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what's at the
Same.
region. Like I know Saudi,
Someone
but
told me once, I don't know how true this is, but they were saying something like there's some legality of like if you miss a payment, it's like it's an offense basically. You can't just like pay a bit late. So you'd have to do it as a check. This maybe has changed in Dubai now, but it would be a check you write for your rent payment, and you would pay up front for 6 months, 3 months, or a year. So there was less checks that could have bounced, basically. Something like this.
There's a limit on the number of bounces.
Something like this, yeah. I don't know how true that
there's
is.
some like apps as well. Like you couldn't have subscriptions here in Saudi as well. So they couldn't, business couldn't take, say, credit card details and then just rolls. Like we have direct debit, don't we, in like
direct
UK.
debit.
So then, that you're not allowed to do that here. I'm not sure if that's the case still now. But I know a couple of years ago it was the case that you couldn't do direct debits. Companies couldn't take credit card information and then just keep it rolling. I think that's changed now.
That used to be the case, but now it has changed.
Yes.
So like every time here, if you wanted to renew the subscription of any service, you had to provide the OTP. But that has changed.
Yeah.
Because now we have like Saudi native companies that are providing subscription-based services.
Yeah.
So they had to change that.
Yeah.
So the government is working closely with the private sector.
Yeah, and this is what I think. Like you said, this is what I say with our podcast. And other podcasts and media now. You see it more like Al Arabia and NBC. Like it's just PR, isn't it? People just need to know what's going on. It's very hard, and but hopefully it's getting easier and easier to start finding out some of these stories. You know what I mean? That because most people, I think, especially expats, they come and they're just like, all right, yeah, like you said, I'll just come, make a bit of cash for a couple of years, 3 to 5 years or whatever, maybe 10 years, and I'll go. No, that was the old mindset, But this is where, like,
I think it's still the majority.
Oh, it is. I would say it's
sit in a
90.
compound, just sit there, go to work, come back to the compound.
Yeah,
don't do
save
it.
up their pennies.
Save their pennies.
Save their pennies, put
Sit
it in their
by the
piggy
pool.
bank, and then they just take their piggy bank home.
Yeah. But there's so much more you can do.
Yeah,
So much
I think as well now because of, say, the general feeling, say with somewhere like the UK, people are looking out now to invest their money. They're not looking into the UK now to invest their money. Looking where can I go? Because I don't want to be in UK for like say the next 5-10 years. What other options are there? Oh, I see everyone going to Dubai. I'll just go there. Start there, for instance. But I think it's more actually that maybe this region is the region. It's probably one of the most, I'd say, for investment, for especially like I want to talk about AI and tech and all this side. It's one of the places to be, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of investment into fintech and generally speaking, AI, any AI related.
Is it
startup.
Humane? Is the MBS is the
Humane.
Humane?
Yeah.
That's huge.
That is huge. Like coming from the government itself.
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe
huge.
you could expand more. I don't know much about it, but maybe you could expand more on Humane and AI. What the government
I still
is
have to do my homework on Humane, but overall,
From
AI,
what
AI related startups. Like there's another startup I know through one of my connections. Actually, that guy used to be Hamza. Yes, he used to be an intern in one of our. When I used to be employed in one of the companies, he was an intern, and now, mashallah, he started an AI-based, and that's also a fintech, but they're using AI heavily in order to solve the problem of micro lending, because banks usually, if they want to lend you money, they have to go through your financial statements and everything, and startups, they don't have any.
Yeah.
Right. So their AI engine would solve that. So they're going to sell this solution to the banks. There's another similar startup that is actually doing it, and they're taking a certain percentage out of the amount that will be lended. So there's no fee on the bank or on the person who wants the loan. But that would make there's a financial term used for this, like the banks do their KYC, or no, it's not KYC, but the banks do their
stuff.
They want to understand if this person, we lend him money, or if we lend this startup money, would we will
that
be
just
able
lowers
to
the
recover
risk for
it.
everyone, then, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not you don't have to start with such a huge commitment. I think you see that even in the UK, and I know in the US as well, that the number of banks, just the quantity and choice has drastically reduced over the last 30, 40 years, and very few banks now. But they're looking for the big stuff. They wanted to have with big corporates. So it makes it harder for startups to try and just get a bit of capital to start with. You know what I mean? And then with huge interest rates and everything else that goes with it. So it's cool to hear that there's this. Say micro lending and maybe more banks opening who are more interested in startups, but then having it fair as well. Because I think having started a company here last year, you like to be able to have that opportunity where you can just get a bit of capital, and it's it's exciting.
It
you
is,
know,
it is,
and
it is.
encourages startups and
It
small
does.
business.
It does. And I don't know if you noticed, but many of the banks now have this special portion on their website, section on the website called SME. Like
I've seen it. Yeah.
Like if you ask me like 10 years ago, I never noticed that. But now, like every major service provider, even the insurance providers, they have a portal. Like Bupa, recently we renewed our insurance, but I remember like 5 years ago, Bupa never entertained, if I'm not mistaken, 5 years ago, they never entertained SMEs.
That's small, medium enterprises.
Enterprises
Yeah?
or startups.
Yeah.
So if your employees are less than 10 or less than 20,
Yeah.
they never entertained you because they don't want to dedicate an account manager for you, right?
Yeah.
But now they have a dedicated portal for SMEs. There is a government portal. I'm not sure if it's semi-government or it's government, Tamini,
Yeah.
which probably you have used, right?
Yep.
They aggregate all the insurance providers. So you get the quotations.
Yeah. You get
Of-
quotes from all of them. It's kind of like we have in the UK. Was it comparethemarket.com?
Comparethemarket.com.
You know, where they compare all the insurance companies on that side.
Is that private or government?
It's private. Yeah.
Private,
It's private.
okay.
But Tamini's government.
I believe it's government.
Yeah.
I believe.
But it's great. Actually, I looked at it when we were looking for the car, wasn't it? We were
Yeah.
getting insurance for the
Yeah,
car. Yeah. That was great.
And what about, what challenges are there when it comes to setting up a business in Saudi Arabia? We're talking about some of the good things, the new things. What are some of the main issues you come across?
So I have opened LLCs in the US. I've opened LLCs in my home country, Pakistan. And then, of course, many in Saudi. I think the challenge is that since Saudi is a regulated market, there are regulations from each ministry, requirements from each ministry. But thanks to the digitization efforts, things are now pretty much interconnected. So, for example, when you want to open a company, first you need an approval from Ministry of Investment
Yeah.
to get the license, which they have now changed it to registration. They no longer call it license; they call it registration.
Interesting.
And now they're also changing that. Previously you needed a service license in operate. You probably have a service license, but if you want to do retail and wholesale, you needed a trade license. If you wanted to open a factory, you needed an industrial license.
Yeah.
But now they've combined all of them into one, and they call it
But that was quite recent, wasn't it? I think I saw.
Very
Was
recent.
it January or February or something like that?
actually later, like a few months, like a month ago or
Yeah,
2
I
months ago.
remember, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was during Eid holidays. I remember.
Yes. Yeah.
So now they have like this. If you log into
You
your
don't have to have
portal,
all these separate. Like you just have one.
That would save
Exactly.
lots of time,
That's
basically.
crazy.
exactly. So it saves time now.
Yeah.
You don't. If let's say if you want to open a factory, you don't have to get a separate license. You can use your same license.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very good, right? But then sometimes I feel that these ministries are working in silos. But then because we have Ministry of Commerce as well, which has their own set of portals. So
There's a lot of portals.
There are a lot of portals.
That's one of the challenges I've found. You know, when
Adam's
we-
always on the portals.
portals. You have all the lists and all the logins. You know, like you've got to remember all the login. You know, all this sort of stuff. You know, there's a lot of.
There are a lot of portals. And when I opened my first company in Saudi in 2018, that was even more problematic because there was one step where there was no portal. You needed to involve a lawyer for
Yeah.
the article of association.
Yes.
And you needed to be notarized.
Yeah.
And that document was only in Arabic. And
Yeah.
and it was not digital, it was in physical format. You needed to literally sign it, and then the lawyer or any notary officer would have to attest it.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
in 2018.
I swear that's still the case now. Isn't
No,
it?
it is digitized. So now no need for a lawyer, no need for a notary officer.
Is that recent? How recent is that? Then?
It's recent when they opened another. It's not a ministry; it's a center. It's called Saudi Business Center.
Okay.
So when they opened it, the objective is to connect
Everything.
through it, and they're still doing it. Like previously, if you wanted to register a trade name for your company,
Yeah.
you had to go through a semi-automated portal provided by a Ministry of Commerce,
Yeah.
and you could only register your name in Arabic, and it would be transliterated into English.
Yeah.
But now, starting from this year, you could just do it through SPC.
Should wait another year.
We should have met you about a year ago. Yeah.
So you could now register your name in English. So you could have, for example,
Adam is pissed, right? It's like, fuck.
I'm just like,
All that shit.
expect more in the coming years because.
but that's it. You said it's all happening. Like it just.
Yeah,
Thing
yeah.
with here in Saudi,
So
it
fast.
just changes so quick, and like even from like 6 months ago, a year ago, it's totally different.
Yeah.
The landscape is different.
Exactly.
The processes are different. The portals, all this, it just happens. And you're like, you know, there's no like warning or this is gonna happen. It just happens. And you're like, oh, okay.
So that's a challenge. That's a
That's the
challenge.
challenge. Yeah.
Like imagine you're
Keeping up with it.
coming from UK and you're calling Todd like, hey buddy, I want to come to Saudi,
Yeah.
and Todd explains to you the whole process.
Yeah.
But then when you start,
By the time you got the flight over.
Yeah, by the
it's
time
different.
you get, it's all changed.
Yeah, 7
It's
hour
changed.
flight, different. Yeah, it's all new.
But that's it. But this is it. This is why, because Saudi it's like it is a startup, and it's even though it's not a startup. That's,
wanted
that's
to say the
wrong.
same thing, yeah.
That's the wrong way of saying it because it's obviously been established for nearly 100 years now. But where this kind of new chapter, it feels like it's a startup, obviously on
Yeah.
not even on steroids. What's
It's a,
more than
it's a
steroids?
rebrand. It's a
It's a
rebrand.
rebrand.
And
You know,
new model.
a new model of it. Exactly. Yeah,
yeah, I feel like the ministries are competing with each other,
which is good.
which is very good. You know,
Yeah. It's good to have.
competition is always good for the consumers.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people who are
Yeah.
using it, because they want to make it better and better and better.
Yeah, and it
There's
kinda,
also sorry, I'm cutting
Yeah,
you
please,
because
please.
I will forget this.
yeah.
So there is even an initiative from the government. Forgive me if I'm quoting it wrong. The UI UX kind of something.
UI UX.
The purpose is to make sure that the ministries who are developing new systems, how easy is a system to use. So this initiative gives them ranking. It's a government initiative,
Wow.
so it gives them
It's
scoring.
even more competitive
Yeah,
then.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, league table.
League table, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's getting
We do
relegated?
support. Yeah, who's getting- yeah.
Who's getting relegated this year?
Yeah. Get the league.
Do you know who's the top? Do you know who the ranking?
No, I'm not following it. So
Yeah, we should start well, it's illegal here, but a betting company. We start putting bets on who's got the best ranking.
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
league. Good, fuck. You can bet on anything.
I came to know about this because in
Yeah.
my first company, Sohabi, we received an RFP from one of the ministries. I cannot disclose
Yeah.
the name,
Yeah,
but
sure,
they wanted to improve their ranking, so they approached us. Yeah.
I like it. They should publicize that properly. I want to see those rankings.
See,
Yeah.
So, is AI the biggest thing? Is that going to be the biggest, you think, over the next 5 years thing that's going to be accelerated here, or fintech? Like, which do you see just accelerating like crazy here? Which industry?
Now, this is my wild guess.
Yeah, your opinion.
Yeah, I feel AI. Any country who does not adopt AI would be way behind. Way behind.
Yeah.
Like, just think of it from an economic perspective.
Okay.
Right now, if you want to get something solved, you will call the ministry or call an enterprise. You will have to wait in line for the real agent, the human agent, who might be tired, didn't have their coffee.
Yeah. Had capsa at lunchtime.
Exactly.
Knackered,
Maybe,
Todd has capsa at lunchtime.
Finished.
He's done.
It's the day over.
I save capsa for Friday because otherwise I'm done.
Ruined.
The whole
Okay.
afternoon I can't do anything.
yeah.
I have to lie there.
Meant for Friday.
Yeah.
You should not have it other than Friday.
Just lie down.
Yeah. You just need to lie down afterwards.
Yeah, imagine someone had kapsa during one of the weekdays. So
Yeah.
Well, I know a few people.
You just imagine.
I see them. I see them coming out the capsa shops. Like these guys are not doing anything
Yeah,
productive.
It's finished. Day's
Yeah.
over. Day's over.
you cannot blame the guy. Like,
I know,
your
poor
problem
guy.
doesn't matter now. You
Yeah.
have to-
You're just eating a kilo of rice. Yeah.
Exactly.
But imagine an AI agent replacing
these
that person.
these things sounds terrifying but amazing.
They're terrifying. They're going to replace a lot of jobs.
I was
But
thinking.
they're
I was
coming.
thinking when you were saying about websites. I was like, I mean, you guys just have to use it, don't you? So you can just be more productive, right? You know, so you can do more website, more clients, or more. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking of guys I've used on like Upwork before for building websites or whatever. I was like, now I just find out that they're so quick at returning them or delivering back because they have to use this stuff.
We have to.
Because then you can just. But then that's great for those guys and you guys because then you can just do more work. You know, you don't have to spend so long on just one project. You can be doing 10 projects at the same time and just, tweaking them, changing them, using AI to build it, right?
Exactly. Like now, we have one of the team members. He was very reluctant when he was not using AI
Yeah.
in his work, and of course, so the managers complained to me that we need to train him. Like he was trained on AI, but he was not using it.
Yeah.
He was somehow wanted to code by himself.
Yeah.
But the outputs were very slow. The clients were complaining, and then we showed
Even
him,
as a business, you're
exactly.
you could be doing a lot more, and you're not.
Exactly. So let me change what I said. So the person, and of course you have heard this before, the AI will not replace the person, but the person who uses AI will replace that person.
Yeah.
So there would be people working, of course. There would be jobs, but
You've got to just get skilled in some of these tools, of AI tools, and then implement.
Exactly.
Then productivity. And this is where we're a big fan of. I don't know if you know, he's in English. Well, no, he's Australian, isn't he? Daniel Priestley. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a
Entrepreneur specialist.
Yeah, in the UK. He's quite big in the UK. But he talks about how corporates can get smaller and more efficient. And there'll be companies in the next, say, 5 years with 10 people with market caps over, when you have it already, Telegram and places like this, over $1 billion, for instance. Very small teams, but high production, super high production because of AI.
Exactly. And very scalable.
Yeah.
Like imagine right now, if someone fills a form on your website and they want to get more information on your coaching classes.
Yeah.
But you run an online ad, it goes to 1,000 people. You need to now hire 5 or maybe 10 sales rep to deal with 1,000 leads, and not all of them will close, right?
Yeah.
So imagine the moment those leads fill up the form, an AI agent calls and speaks like a human being.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. I know.
Some of this AI, like the images and the videos and even how they speak, you just can't even tell now. And that, even I remember 6 months ago, that looks a bit iffy. Now, even 6 months later, it's like, I can't tell. It's mental.
Yeah, and they're I remember I tried one of the services. The British accent was amazing. So I guess it
better
was
than ours.
Way better.
Yeah.
No one, when I speak to people, it's like, where are you from?
They think I'm Australian.
Yeah, they think I'm Australian or something like that.
Yeah.
My accent is so messed up now. But AI is...
It is crazy.
And I think that's why then... I think, this is why things have to change, and they have to change so quickly from all sectors. Because if everyone says, people are going to be, there'll be no jobs for humans, but I think there will be. They just have to... They have to utilize these... They have to learn new skills, utilize these AI tools, and then productivity. I mean... This is where people are saying Elon Musk and especially when he releases the robots and the taxis is the kind of two big things, and obviously space and everything else. But he's going to be worth 20 to 50 trillion in 20 years. That's mad.
It is.
How
That's
can
more than
one
most countries.
person be worth 50 trillion? There's going to be a lot of this. There'll be a lot of trillionaires in the next 20 years, probably.
Wow.
Yeah. But yes, but it's more than you think US is in so much debt. These guys he's gonna have robots. He's gonna have everything, isn't he? Everything he needs. He doesn't need a government.
Wow. I feel like this question is above my pay scale. So
No. But it's not even about that. It's just I'm just thinking because this is what's gonna happen. I mean, this is why it's a discussion. Talking. I mean, we're not experts by any means, But
thinking out loud, I feel like many of the folks will be into service-related jobs.
Yeah,
because there would be people that want to have that human touch, right?
100%.
Yeah,
that's valuable.
Exactly,
it's going to become more valuable. I think
exactly. So the people who are very they're great at human skills, soft skills.
Yeah,
I think that those will be valuable, and they will be competing fairly well.
I'd
with
say
AI.
probably typically those are underpaid at the moment.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that will switch.
We mentioned the podcast the other time about I think one of the most undervalued positions is receptionists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good front of house.
Yeah.
Whether it's in your office block, whether it's in a hotel, whether it's in whatever, that first we do, for gyms,
Yeah.
it's that
Hotels,
first interaction,
yeah.
whether it's with a security guard or whether it's with the reception, because you walk in, and
Yeah.
a few places, and you walk in, and see that the first person you meet is a receptionist, and they're on their phone, just like low energy. You're like, what is going? Like, it's just a bad first impression of
Of the place,
of the
yeah.
business, whatever the establishment is.
100%, yeah.
But having a good, and that's what you see. Like if you walk into an Ibis hotel, it's self check-in, automated, everything else. You go to Ritz-Carlton, there's like 20 receptionists or people in the lobby welcoming you, greeting you, everything else. So it's human value, high value, and then you have Ibis all automated. So you kind of see like the difference,
I think Ibis would be great for introverts. So
yeah. No, but Ibis are great. Like Premier Inns in the UK, like
It's good. Yeah.
and that's it. But you pay what you pay. It's
Cheaper
low
rate
cost. Yeah, you put nice rooms, everything else. But you don't expect there to be like all this service and everything else. But you go to Ritz and there's like 3 guys on the door, and then you go in there, then there's feel like I said, all these receptionists. Oh, do you need this? Can I help you here? All this sort of stuff. So it's that personal touch
and the positive energy
smiling, looking good. Well presented. All these type of good manners, politeness.
And I think that would be highly valuable in the future.
I think it's only going to get more, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We see it now. Like when someone sends you an email that's all been written by ChatGPT, it's just like, straight away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just know straight away. And sometimes that's fine when you're just trying to get something across or talking to lawyers or whatever, whatever it is. But when it's something like more personal, you're like, if it's something like if I message my wife or my family just using ChatGPT, they would know about it.
Yeah.
My wife would put me in the doghouse again.
Yeah.
I'll be sleeping on the sofa again.
You haven't left. You haven't left.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a time and a place, isn't it?
Yeah, I can totally relate. So I'm married, so
Yeah, 100%. So
it reminds me of my friend. She's a copywriter, and she said that I asked ChatGPT to deliberately add mistakes or grammar mistakes in the output.
but that's the uniqueness, is the imperfection of a human.
Yes.
There's something that we value of the imperfection of a human being. We get it wrong sometimes. We spell something wrong. We get the grammar wrong. We get this wrong. Whatever. Whereas it's just like everything's clean and perfect, and it's like you just know. Whereas there's something with the human element that is imperfect.
Do you think people get offended now that they're getting a very near perfect report or response in an email? They're getting.
It just depends what it's about, doesn't it?
I do. I hate it. I actually hate it when I see, because I know ChatGPT, Grok, all these things we're using. That's like the most common things. That's what people think of as AI. Obviously, it's a lot bigger than that, but that's what we all use day to day, right? So, for some reason, what I've seen, and I've done it myself, I'm trying to stop myself now, is before I've even thought about what I'm trying to do, I just ask the Grok, let's say, straight away. And then it kind of removes, it gives you all this answer, it solves the problem, let's say. But you haven't actually put your own thoughts into it. So it becomes a very generic solved problem or written text or whatever. And then I think you kind of lose the magic. You've kind of removed your own creativity from what you wanted to do. Whereas if you thought about it, worked on it first, refined it with ChatGPT or whatever, then you have something good. But people, you need to get a task done, let's say some headshots or whatever. You say, okay, how do we need to dress for the headshots? You put them in and it tells you. But that's not actually what we wanted. We wanted to look a certain way. We want it to be like this, but it would just give you a generic response, something. I don't know. It's like you need to put your own context in there and think about it first before you just unload onto it.
Yeah.
But I see that a lot now. You just basically, if you send me a question, I just put it into Grok and send you the answer. That's not really the response. That's not the best response we could get. I should probably work on it first and then use large language model to help me out.
And that's where
Yeah.
I think training your models in GPT
Yes.
or in Grok
Yeah.
helps a lot because they remember the
Remember
context
things.
and it's like you're training the person to be your subordinate or your
Yeah.
colleague.
I had to go at my
Yeah,
Grok the
yeah.
other day. I record just my workouts and then just
Yeah, I do the same.
But then now it's starting to forget all my stuff from a month ago. So I was
Idiot.
pissed at it today. I just had to go. I was like, what? It's only a month ago. You've forgotten everything.
yeah, terrible memory.
Yeah, be gentle with them.
yeah.
Once they take over,
I saw something that
it's a meme.
I think it was ChatGPT came out saying like the amount they almost ask stop saying please and thank you because it clogs up so much.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was or how they explained
So
it,
much
but
memory.
it basically just said like date or memory or whatever the technical term is. But it says just stop saying please and thank you to the AI.
Too many words.
It's just too much. You're just filling up. You don't need to. Just say what you want or want to do, and that's it. you
Yeah,
know?
the argument is that each character of the English word is a token.
Right. That's probably it. Yeah.
So and each token takes computational power.
Yes.
So,
That was
it-
something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, but then also I heard that it's okay because the GPT is being trained because eventually you don't know these LLMs would probably might be used later in the future to train robots.
Yeah. They will probably,
Yeah.
won't they?
And so the robots, in order for the robots to be as to mimic human behavior or conversation, we were actually feeding
Feeding
the next
all the
I
product.
was watching. Was it on the weekend like a Tesla robot breakdancing?
Mad.
Like what?
Yeah.
Just impromptu. It heard
Yeah.
the music and then just started dancing. Like,
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you use? Which language model do you use?
So of course ChatGPT, and we for our projects we're using their APIs.
Yeah.
So usually what happens is that our systems they interact with them. So one of the use cases is that some of our clients, these are enterprises, they want to use WhatsApp notifications, and they have like so many notifications through WhatsApp. But WhatsApp, they tend to these automated notifications from WhatsApp, they tend to block you if you send too many repetitive messages. So in order to make sure that each message is unique.
Yeah.
So we pass it through the LLM first, not of course manually through APIs.
Yeah.
So let's say if you approached an enterprise through WhatsApp, the response that you will receive will be based on the form that you filled.
So for those who don't know what API is, mainly me,
Yeah.
what's the API?
Okay. So I apologize for being technical.
That's okay. Yeah.
So
I'm so untechnical. Todd will understand you.
I've researched it a little bit.
I don't know.
API, short for Application Programming Interface,
Yeah.
is a way systems, modern systems, they communicate with each other.
Okay.
Like imagine that you have. I'm just giving an example.
I've heard of API integration.
Yes. So that's integration is.
I've heard that term. So
So you know about it. Great.
I always thought about this. You can get something, you can plug it into your thing, right?
It's kind
Imagine
of the same
this,
way.
right? Okay. So
This is very helpful for listeners. Most
yeah.
people.
Because it's like you're basically connecting different, say programs together.
Yes.
This is a good way of explaining it, I guess. So
Yes.
they talk to each other. They can
they
help
want to
each other out.
integrate.
You create a workflow, so they kind of something takes the data, then you push it into this. It does something with it, then it connects to WhatsApp and
Lost.
sends the messages and gone. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
basically like that, right?
That's great. Let me try to give an analogy based on your
Yeah, I like
domain.
analogies. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
let's say in your fitness center, you're coaching. You're an expert coach.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just saying, maybe you're not, or you don't want to. You may be good, but you don't want to collect cash, right? or payments. So you have two options. Either you hire someone on the reception, full time, to be part of your organization that will be responsible for that,
Yeah.
right? Or you say that I don't want to,
Yeah. Human in the way.
or I don't want to take this.
I don't trust this girl.
It's like delegation. Delegation of responsibility.
Yeah.
You want to delegate this to an organization.
Yeah.
And I run an
So
organization.
integrate PayPal or API PayPal with it or something
PayPal
like
or
that.
API. Okay, now you're going technical. I want you to come.
Let's go manual.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
just
got
manual.
ahead of myself there.
Yep.
You
Yep.
got too far.
Too far. Too far. Forget about any technologies right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's imagine that you have two options.
Mhm.
One option is you hire a full-time receptionist,
Yep.
or you say, I will delegate this to another company.
Mhm.
But for that another company, that could be my company, I provide receptionist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And in order for my receptionist to come and work there, you need to provide training to that person, initial training, a little
Mhm.
bit, and then we'll sign this contract.
Mhm.
This contract, consider this as an API integration.
Ah. Okay.
But we both are separate systems, separate companies.
Yeah.
Okay. I focus on collecting payments.
Yeah.
You focus on providing coaching, right? You don't want to develop that
No, no.
A brand new
capability
coach,
of
yeah.
accepting payments.
No.
Right? So you completely outsource this
Yeah.
to me. Same with systems. Like they're different systems.
Mhm.
One system wants to use a capability of another system.
Mm.
So, but they don't want to develop it in-house.
Yeah.
So they connect it through API.
There we go. 101 on API.
Now,
But it's good though, because look, a lot of it, even me, because I'm.
You know the Alex Jones clip where he goes, "Listen, I'm kind of retarded." I thought you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say that.
I was trying to be diplomatic with
Listen,
myself.
I'm
like-
kind of retarded.
Yeah.
You just no. Continue. Yeah.
Yeah. Very useful. Very useful. I'm now
This is the
1%
most-
more educated on this.
this is the most chill podcast.
It's very chill.
This is the
It's
Saudi
I've ever
Fitness
been
Talk
to,
Show.
yeah.
Welcome.
We're very chilled out on this.
And I like the energy and like the vibes. Yeah.
Good.
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 Amazing.
Okay.
Let's
so,
hope I don't say something that I would regret. So
no, we will do that
We've
for
already
you.
done that.
We do that for all our guests most of the
Yeah.
time. Okay, so AI. We've done
I've done a
AI
lot of AI. Yeah.
from that side. So
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned something before when you came about people getting started. Look, they want to start up something here. Obviously, they go see you. That's number one thing. But what are you said something about entrepreneurship. Obviously, premium residency is an option, and you said something about entrepreneurship as well.
Change
right?
the business to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, well,
What's
we
that?
need to sort that out. Yeah, but what is that option? Maybe you can expand more on that entrepreneurship side.
like for example, your license is the general license.
Yeah,
You're paying, because you're a rich guy, you're paying 62K
yeah,
per
yeah.
year.
No
right?
problem.
Yeah, he just sold all his teeth just to pay for They're all fake, yeah.
I just sold everything.
Yeah, he's got half a liver, one kidney.
Yeah. That's it. But we're just about going.
Yeah. Your liver grows back. It's free.
Yeah,
money.
liver grows back.
Just-
It's the only regenerating organ, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, for those of
Yeah.
us who cannot regenerate their livers,
You're fucked. Yeah.
we go with the entrepreneur license.
Yes, you can tell everyone about that.
Where we only pay 2,000 real per year.
Okay.
And we tell to the government that we cannot regenerate our liver. Sorry. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
tell to the government that, okay, we have an innovative idea.
Yep.
And there's a way to do it. So we have an innovative idea, and if you give us a chance and lower down all the requirements that we have in the general license and the fees, we would be good for the economy and for the country.
Yeah.
And when they get convinced, they give you a green signal, which is in the form of a support letter. In that support letter, they certify that, okay, XYZ from this nationality with this passport number qualify as an entrepreneur. So yeah, we certify them as an entrepreneur. And that's where the subsequent ministries, they will give you discounted and more like benefits.
Right. Okay.
So you get classified as an SME
Okay.
or a startup.
Yeah.
So that's then good when you go to banks and then you can go onto those programs, right?
Yeah. And one of the many ways to get this blessing or support letter is, or endorsement letter, is to apply to an incubator or accelerator, because the government, in most cases, they don't do this job. They delegate this to these organizations. These organizations are called incubators and accelerators.
Right.
Think of the API example, right?
Yeah.
So they delegate it.
You can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
it already.
I love
He's
delegating.
forgotten it already. It's gone.
I love delegating. Yeah.
So yeah, they delegate it to them, and these organizations, it could be an incubator, accelerator, or VC, venture capitalist, that they have their own programs. You apply to those programs, and if you get accepted, you go through their program for 3 to 6 months. You pass. The programs are usually free, and you get the blessing from them, which is the endorsement letter or support letter.
And then, so what are some of the benefits? Is it similar to like the residency, premium residency, or what's some of the
the premium
benefits? Is it
residency-
tax benefits or?
So the premium residency is one of the benefits, which comes later.
Yep.
But the direct benefits are that you don't have to pay 62,000 real every year. You just pay 2,000, and you don't have to show an outside company. So in your case, probably you showed up your British company, right, in order to get the license.
Yep.
In this case, in the case of entrepreneurship license, you don't need to.
Yeah.
You are
Just start up from here. Yeah.
exactly, essentially opening a local.
Which is how
company.
it's. If I go to the UK, you can set up a company within an hour, if that. In Dubai, they say the same. In those free zones, you can set up a company in a day, basically.
Yes.
So is that a similar thing? Could you set up a company here in a day, or with this entrepreneur, or it takes?
Just add S, so days. Yeah.
So it's not quite like yet the efficiency of say like the UK or Dubai or some of these places. It's
I think
it's still a process.
there's a process, and each ministry just want to make sure that they're giving the chance to the right person. Probably maybe because they don't. I don't speak on their behalf, but I'm saying it from my personal opinion. Like, I feel like maybe they don't want to dilute the market.
Yeah,
they just want to make sure that the person,
and
people are coming.
It's early days. This is a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they wanted to see how this goes. It's like a bit of a pilot, I imagine. It's like, let's just see how this goes. Let's get a few people going through it, refine some of our processes as we go. And learn as we go along. You know what I mean, a bit, and see how much we want to open this up or not open it up, and what works or what doesn't work. The type of industries, type of people. You know what I mean? I imagine that's what you would look to do.
So the entrepreneurship license, my first license was in 2018.
Yeah.
But it was there probably 10 years ago. It's just like the bad PR thing. People don't know about it.
That's mental.
Yeah.
It's just not even a new thing.
Like till now, like when I make videos, like I sometimes get tired of repeating the same stuff. Like, okay, there's still people out there who think that, okay, no, there's no license such that. There are still people who are, because of the bad Saudi PR, they think that, okay, no, you cannot, like they will comment on my social media, you're lying, you cannot run your business on your name, you need a Saudi, and that's just bad PR, sadly. Yeah. So till date, I get these comments.
Crazy.
But that's it. Is why people like, it's great for you, someone like you, being able to talk about that, because this. That's a win-win for the country as well, because that's what a lot of expats, I think, especially like we said before, like the current climate, people would want to stay here, especially, and invest into this country. They see the Vision 2030, World Cup 2034, there'll be a Vision 2040, 50 coming out soon, I imagine, and
the Lion Project, Trojana Project,
these
like new cities being built,
and because these guys they're thinking, and the whole region is long term because of the nature how it's set up. It's not like in the UK or US where every 4 years it could change. There's a different direction now. Bum 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 bum. There's always moving left right, or left, then right. It just changes. You never know. So in terms of an investment side, it's there's always pros and cons for both different styles, but it's kind of pretty risky as well, because like we say, we've got a Labour government now in the UK. They're like, right, we're going to do it this way now. That's not advantageous for this side, but then it changes again, and maybe 4 years later it's going to change, and these guys get in government and they want to go this way. You know what I mean? Whereas at least here in this region, Dubai, it's right, we're going this way. This is it.
But there's one huge benefit of like being in the UK.
Yeah.
You get the British accent, right? So.
Well, no one knows I'm British,
It's Australian.
They're just Australian, or
British
American
accent.
or whatever. So.
Yeah, I would kill any one of those. So no worries.
You like those accents, yeah?
Everybody does, man. Come on.
But with everything, like with the UK, everyone's very. The Brits are anyway. We're very sour about and negative about everything, aren't we? We're more pessimistic than optimistic,
generally.
But whenever there is a this phase or the economy is not doing so well, it's always an opportunity. There's always opportunities. Depends on how you look at it.
True.
And most millionaires are made during recessions as well.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
So there's always an opportunity. People think, it's got to be, recession is this word that can't say it. Don't want to say the word recession, or God forbid you say depression.
Yeah.
Everyone tries to avoid that terminology in the media and all this sort of stuff, but then you look at some of these stats. You're like, look, most people actually, you have to tighten up a little bit, or whatever it is, lean out some of your expenses in your business or in your personal life or whatever it is. But often there's huge opportunities as well. You know,
True. And and even for those who are coming here and they do compare that, okay, it's so easy to form a company in the US just in a day, in the UK just in a day, and why it's taking longer in Saudi. So if you're an entrepreneur,
it's
you
doing due diligence though, isn't it?
Yeah, there's due diligence, but if someone who has an eye for opportunities, they can spot gaps, and they can approach, like, it's very easy to approach
There's a lot of gaps.
senior like, let's say, senior roles here in the ministries.
Yeah.
You just approach them and present them. If you are talking to the right decision maker, they would most likely agree, and they won't see that, okay, where are you from, what's your nationality, as long as the solution is viable. They want to implement it. I know. I'll tell you what happened in 2018. I gave my case to one of the agents when I was forming my first company. So I gave it to an agent. I would not name them, but I cannot forgive them. They literally screwed up my, sorry to use this word, my case.
Yeah.
My company was due to be formed like maybe in 2 or 3 months. It took me an year because of them. So the ministry, when I approached the ministry, they delegated my case to a private company. So they do. So that's also private companies work with the ministries. So if there's a complex, it's not like the ministry would say that, oh no, we're the only one who should solve this problem.
Yeah.
No,
they're more than happy to work with private entities. Yeah.
Exactly, whatever solves the problem. So okay, how many times have you heard that, okay, you're getting a service from a company and then all of a sudden they delegate it to their competitor, which is maybe a smaller company. It's very rare. But here it's happening also on the government level, that they will delegate it to a private company. And that private company, because they know that that's their strength, they solve my problem within a few days. So, and it's happening till now.
Yeah, I just think it's that. Yeah, it's that transition, isn't it? Because I think I don't know. I'm not even qualified to say that, but but like it just seems like it's big government here, and everything was good like that, and they control everything. But it seems like now, I don't know if this is from 2018 onwards. I don't know if before, but it just seems like it was that way, and now it's just like, let's just go, let's just move. You guys can do that, great, go do it. And supporting this, supporting that, push, delegating, rather than trying to have it all. And now competition, is that something that's changed a lot since 2018, or it's always been this way? We just don't know about it.
Yeah, see, what I've noticed from our observation, the bad rep that the ministries get is usually, I would say that mostly it's because of the agents or gatekeepers. They're actually not gatekeepers. They don't have the power. You could do it all the steps. You don't need me or any other agent. You could do it all of the stuff yourself. But there are some agents, I would say most of them, they would make it sound complicated.
100%.
Right? So, like, I still have they're my friends, they have similar companies. They tell me, why you're sharing all this information for free on your social media? They don't understand that's how my customers trust me.
Yeah.
And I tell in each video that everything can be done by you. You don't need an agent. You only need an agent if you want to save your time.
Yeah.
That's it. But there are folks in the market, they just will make it sound very complicated. And that's where the bad rep comes from.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Speechless.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in. Yeah.
You did your case through an agent, by the way? No.
Yeah, we went through, we had, legal firm. Legal firm, yeah.
I hope it went well.
Yeah, look, we were all set up. It was good. And yeah, everything was well. From what but the thing is, I don't know.
What do you
I
compare
have
it
nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Compared to the UK, yeah, hard.
Yeah, compared to the UK, it took a while. Maybe 6 months, something like that. Back paperwork's notarize this apostille. Probably have a company, it's working and everything else. But yeah, but that's it. I don't because you don't. I've only met. I met one other guy, another British guy, who set up a company. I'm hearing maybe one or two other people I've met who've done foreign investments, things like that. But you just don't hear about it. I don't meet people. Everyone here is like employed, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, probably your circles is different. You're just meeting everyone who's doing it. But from the circles we've been in and I've been in, I just don't meet people. Everyone's employed. In the old way, old-fashioned way, and doesn't know anything about this. They just think, oh, you can't set up a business in Saudi. There's no way of doing it.
How long did it take you to, or that agent or that law firm to finish your case?
Oh, it took about maybe from start 3 or 4 months, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's the usual time frame. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were good. But yeah, I never heard anything about this entrepreneurship thing. Never heard anything about that. That was just not an option. It wasn't even there, but it's been there.
It's
So
been
it's
there
interesting.
more than 10 years.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Yeah. That's why it's so interesting. But this is why it's great. I think it's. I really appreciate you. Talking about this and doing all this free content for people. And I think more people should, especially those. A lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, people who want to set up businesses, want to invest into the country, but they just don't know how or don't even know if it exists. So what you're doing what you're doing is great, and just hopefully I just keep encouraging you to keep talking over the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
Keep repeating yourself basically.
You have to repeat the same stuff. Yeah.
Just keep repeating it because people just have no idea. I mean, obviously, with the podcasts, that's how I heard about you when you were on Success Saudi, which was great, and now on this show. I hope more people who have their podcasts get you on the show and just keep talking about it. I think you just got to keep your voice and keep putting the message out there. And it's because there's a lot of people who I know who would love to do something here, but just talking to them and they hear my story and they're like, wow, you can actually set up a business here? It's like, yeah. But then now with you've got all your experience and knowledge, and you were born and bred here and everything else. That's a huge advantage. So really appreciate you sharing that.
No worries, and really appreciate the platform that you gave me here to spread this information.
Yeah.
Because I really wish, my message to your audience and everyone is that, okay, the information is out there. Don't expect that someone will spoon feed you.
Yeah.
If you expect that, then maybe you will land up into the wrong hands, the wrong agents.
Yeah.
That will make it sound too complicated, because that's how they make money, right?
Yeah.
They want you to think that
Dependency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That you depend on them.
Totally dependent.
But no.
Yeah.
The ministries are very helpful. You can easily approach
And
them.
it's getting, I imagine, and it is, from the sounds of it, it's getting easier and easier every quarter probably.
Yeah.
Not even, a year. It's like every quarter they're just getting more and more efficient, and there's more and more investment, coming in. More and more international companies are coming in. That means the processes have to be more, because they want more investment. They want people to stay here. Retention is a big thing. I remember talking to a guy who works in one of the big banks here end of last year, and he was saying one of the government agendas, for like 25, 26 and moving forward the next 5 years is just retention. Keep people here. They don't want people in and out. They want people to come and then stay. And they saw from the first 5 or 6 years of, everything kind of the Vision 2030, people coming in and out, in and out, in and out. They come for a year or 3 years and they go back to London, go back to Dubai, go back to Paris, wherever it was,
and they're taking their money with them. Yeah.
But you see that on the local scale. People go to Bahrain and come. They spend in Bahrain, they spend in Dubai, they spend not in Saudi. And that was a thing. I remember a lot of our clients when we were during COVID were like, that was the first time when they actually started traveling within Saudi. I know people from Jeddah or even Riyadh, they were like, I've never been outside of... I've been to Jeddah, I've been to Riyadh maybe a couple of times, but that's it. I've never been to Umluj. I've never been to Yanbu. I've never been down to Jizan or been to... You know what I mean?
Have you been to the Asir region, the Abha, Baha?
I've never been to Abha, but I've been to Umluj and that whole west coast up to Tabuk and everything else, but it's beautiful. But I remember that was the first time people were like, they were doing internal holidays because they couldn't really travel, all the COVID stuff.
Man,
And
they
then-
have changed a lot. Like my Eid holidays were in Asir region in Abha.
Yeah.
Man,
Just now, yeah?
Yeah, just now.
Yeah.
Like I went there after 5 years. Last time I was there like before 5 years ago.
But it's night and day, isn't it? Totally different.
Totally different. Totally different. And the like these are like government employees on
Yeah.
these tourist spots, and how welcoming they are, how eager they are to provide you with any information you want, any help. Like
Yeah.
some of these tourist spots now even have like daycare centers for free. Like imagine, like okay, you as a couple go enjoy, and let us take care of your kid, and they have all those
Activities on.
activities there.
Yeah, they do a lot of that even here in, where was it, DQ? When was it the founding day? They had all these kids' activities in like in the square. Which one is it? Kindy Plaza or something like that. And then you just kids, they've got all these different things going on. The parents can just,
Yeah.
It's
And
great.
for people who are overseas, like outside Saudi, this might not be a new thing, but I'm comparing it with the old Saudi. Like 5 years ago, this was unheard of.
yeah.
So,
Oh, totally.
yeah.
I mean, you think how much has changed. I mean, when I first came, I couldn't even walk into a mall with shorts on, back in Jeddah. And that was Jeddah. I wasn't even in. That was 2020, 2019. Even up to 21, I think it was. I couldn't, you couldn't wear shorts into a mall. You had to be, even t-shirts. Sometimes they were like,
No,
so it's different now.
Yeah. No, it's very easier for people to see your legs. So,
Yeah. Now everyone can see my legs.
Everyone's welcome.
Yeah, all legs are welcome now. But this is it. It's changing so quick here. And that's why people say, like, how is it? And I'm like, every 6 months it's vast. It changes so much. It's hard to keep up with it, which is exciting. For some people hate change, don't they? They just can't deal with all the change. They just want it to be the same. I think like my parents, they just can't deal with any sort of change. Like if something changes, like, and they've had it the same way for 10 years, and they have to go to a new restaurant, they're like, you can't deal with all the change. So Saudi's not maybe for everyone right now, but if you don't mind a bit of change, and things always this sort of startup. It's a startup environment, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where every day there's this happening, that happening, going here. It's because like you said at the very beginning when you said you left, but then you missed it. I know a lot of people over the last 5 years who've been and gone, but they miss it. They've gone back to the UK. They've gone Southeast Asia. They've gone wherever it is, and they got washed around a little bit, in Saudi because it's the chaos a little bit, things changing and everything else. But everyone wants to come back.
Yeah, this was.
It has a weird vibe, Saudi.
It has. I don't know. There's
In a good way. Like people want to come back. They're like, I miss it. I miss for some reason.
Yeah, this incident might make it more clear, like why, or maybe not. I don't know, or maybe it will confuse you. But I had
Probably confused.
I had this friend 10 years ago, like in 2012 when I came back here.
Yeah.
In 2012, we didn't have much social activities, like no concerts, nothing. So I started this book club with a lady that I met online in one of the Facebook groups.
Right.
Like, I remember she was asking, is there any book club here? And nobody was recommending. And then I commented, like, why not we start one? And she agreed. And then we met. And this was like, at that time, nothing was much open out there.
Yeah.
So we decided to open Jeddah Book Club. It's still there if you Google it.
Okay.
So we started together. Yeah. And she's an American married to a Lebanese. They were living in Jeddah. But then at some point after a year, they were leaving because the husband lost his job, something. I remember she was very emotional. And I told her, like, you're American citizens, you're going back to US. I thought that's a much better place. Like, probably your husband is going to find better opportunities there. And she told me, Ahmad, you don't understand. Here, I don't have to worry about my children's safety.
It's a big thing for me.
I have kids.
Yeah, I've got two.
God bless them.
That's I think that's for me is the biggest thing. Like my wife and kids are in UK now. My wife messaged me this morning that I want to go to London. I want to stay the night. I want to go to the Naturalist Museum and I want to stay in this hotel. I was like, I don't feel comfortable you staying there. I'd rather you didn't stay overnight in London. Honestly, right now, like I said, honestly, I'd rather you didn't. Because I know the area she was looking at. Like, and she's like, oh no, but it's a nice area. I was like, yeah, but I know people, even when I was a kid, and I used to go up around this area that was dodgy, let alone now. Like the crime has gone up and up and up and up through the roof. Like I wouldn't, her on her own with my two young kids, I just don't feel, feel safe. Whereas here, the kids go out, they do here, they go here. But I have been hearing there's a couple of incidences recently, the last year here in Riyadh, like around certain areas, like around Subanir, there's been a few like bag snatching, burglaries. I've heard a couple of things in the last year. But where I think because of things have gone through the roof here, and especially things like living costs, like rents, have just gone through the roof the last year. But that's going to stop next year because the government put a cap on it. But last year, there's people rents going up 30%.
Yeah, insane.
Wow.
Because landlords just took advantage of that. This loophole went boom, and then the government said, right now from 2026, you can only increase it by 2% or whatever it is per year. And whenever there's that quick, rise in living costs, then you often start to see crime start to increase.
Interesting.
And I see, there's more of those kids on the at the traffic lights selling stuff and beggars and things like this. Like even in Talia Street, we're in Patil, and there's these kids are walking and trying to sell you stuff, and they're kicking them out. It's like I never used to see this ever. You know what I mean? There's more of these little. We recognise them in the UK. We see this stuff, a lot of crime, and I wouldn't now. If I'm in certain places, like even in Central Riyadh, I won't put my phone on the table. I'll hold it like this. I wouldn't put my bag like behind me. I'll put it between my legs so I can see it.
Okay.
Because I've seen it. I had neighbours. She had her bag snatched off her in a mall.
Wow.
2 months ago.
Wow. That's unheard of.
We know my business partner. He
got
had his
robbed.
car broken into. Took his laptop bag out the back.
Yeah.
Oh, where's my laptop back?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's gone.
I remember because he's been here for 16 odd years. He would just leave your phone, have your laptop bag on the back seat. Everyone can see it, and no one would ever touch it. But now, the last year, I've heard of maybe 4 or 5 different incidences, and we've had it to one of our close friends.
I think so. They're always
But the police
compromises.
are, the police are, but whenever there's a big
Yeah.
crime, just starts to creep in a bit.
There's a compromise, and I think that also answers the part where why ministries here take time for any new business to get opened, because you see in UAE there are a lot of scams happening,
Huge, man.
Yeah.
like on business levels.
Yeah.
And even though there might be a justice system and everything, but still, since it's so easy for
They
anyone,
opened up too quick.
yeah,
Because they've only just been accepted into the EU with the EU trading partner and that
Yeah.
side of stuff because of the amount of crime and scams and all this sort of stuff. So I think it's good. I'm not saying the slowness is not necessarily a bad thing. It's good that they're kind of being a bit cautious with it and taking their time, because there is a lot of it can go down that negative route, side of things. But
like there's I'll give you one example. Like right now, like if you're not a premium resident, probably you might have noticed that if you want to issue, as a founder of your company, if you want to issue an exit re-entry, which allows you to leave the country, right? If you want to do it, you have to do that through the Mukim portal.
yeah,
But you cannot do it yourself.
no,
You need to
Have a Saudi.
have not a Saudi. You could also have a user with a non-Saudi, who's a non-Saudi, who is a resident here, who will have to issue your exit re-entry. For so many years,
yeah,
I thought, why I cannot issue my own exit re-entry? I'm the owner of the company.
yeah,
I can issue exit re-entries for the employees, but why not for myself?
Yeah.
Why someone else has to do that? I think of it this way, that let's say if the founder of the company
it just exits.
exits and the company is involved in
debt.
scam
Yeah,
or debt,
scams or debts,
right?
or, yeah, I get it.
So the person who issued exit re-entry, probably he is going to be liable, like, or answerable, like,
Why did you do it? Yeah.
why did
Yeah.
you let that guy go? All right. So I think the rules and regulations are there to protect people.
Yeah.
So
No,
I used
it's
to be,
fair, yeah.
I used to be very angry, like why I cannot issue my own exit re-entry before I got the premium residence.
But I understand I
Yeah.
understand,
Makes
because if
sense,
you've
yeah.
got debts with a scout, whatever it is, then it protects it.
You can
Protects
just
everyone.
get out.
Yeah.
You just run away.
Yeah.
Now I wish
It's like
such
with cars, you in the car and all that.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
just
Couldn't leave.
get rid of the car. Like you have to bank and like all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff, you know. Even when my kids just have they have a slightly high temperature, I feel it. You know, I'm just slightly off because you start thinking like, what if? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How long is this going on for? Okay, it's 3 days now. Why is it 3 days? You know what I mean? You just
Exactly.
start snowballing
Exactly.
in your mind. You know,
Exactly.
it's then that's just with something small like that potentially. You know,
Mm-hmm.
let alone especially in the UK and London, especially. You know, London's mental. You know, from a lot of people I know who live there.
But I would prefer UK for the British accent. So yeah,
It's worth it.
it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Good. Well, look, Ahmed, let's wrap it up there. I think that was a phenomenal episode. Thank you very much for sharing all that.
More than
Where can people find you and follow you, most importantly, and keep up to date with everything? I think you're a very important voice and channel for people, especially from the expat community here in Saudi. You know, so where can they find you?
So first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And if your audience wants to follow me and want to see or view all the videos, they can follow me, Ahmad, AHMAD,
AD, yeah.
Biztech, BIZTECH,
Yep.
on all major social media platforms, or ahmadmushtaq.com.
Because you're on TikTok, I think I saw, and you're on
Yeah,
Instagram.
with the same
yeah.
username, yes.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you, sir. And we'll have to get you, I think, back on in the future. I think it'll be as things keep developing here in Saudi. Maybe in the end of the year, let's get you back on and see where we are with
New
everything.
updates.
Would
New
love to.
updates.
Yeah, I would love to come back. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Great.
All the best.
Thank you.